Behind every great marketing strategy is great marketing data. Let your data lead. Visit the page to learn more.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Ad Age Remotely. I'm Adrienne Pasquarelli, Senior Reporter and Special Projects Editor here at Ad Age. Thanks for joining us. And a special thank you to our sponsor, Salesforce, for helping to make this live stream happen. Halloween is over, and we are already in full-scale holiday marketing mode. The National Retail Federation is predicting a robust sales season this year for the holidays, and many marketers are already beginning campaigns earlier than ever because of supply chain issues. Today, I'm joined by Marisa Thalberg, Executive Vice President and Chief Brand and Marketing Officer at Lowe's. She's going to be telling us about everything going on at Lowe's this holiday season. Hi, Marisa.
Hi,
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, before we get to your holiday spot, which we will unveil a little later, I'd like to talk about your new TV series. It's a shoppable TV show called America's Big Deal. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
I can, and what an exciting, different kind of opportunity this has been for Lowe's when we were first approached by Joy Mangano, who conceived the show. And if you know who she is, I mean, she's made herself into the queen of QVC, but really by being just an incredible self-made entrepreneur herself. In fact, famously, Jennifer Lawrence played her in the movie Joy, and she started the Miracle Mop and all these other products. And she was really struck by the realization during the pandemic, as we frankly were also as a company, that small businesses, entrepreneurs were really being adversely impacted and needed support. And so she came up with this idea of creating a platform where these small businesses with product ready to sell could have a chance to get in front of the shopping public, as well as some big retailers, and made it into a competition show where the winner each week advances to the retail panel for a chance at a big deal. And it's the first live shoppable TV show that's ever been done this way before. So it's pretty exciting when she approached Lowe's as one of her top choice retailers to participate. And I'm glad that we were able to make it happen. And so we're in there with Macy's and, of course, Joy herself representing both QVC and HSN. And, it aligns so much with initiatives and efforts that we've taken on, especially over these past 18 months, from giving $55 million in small business grants, particularly to underserved groups through LISC, as well as creating this Making It with Lowe's program. We just shot our own second season of that, using Damon John as our host. So it felt very authentic for us to participate and also take how brands show up onto a kind of a completely crossover platform that's entertainment based, but really can touch a lot of people.
Now, why is this an area of focus for Lowe's? Are you hearing from your customers that they're more interested in some of these new innovative products or some different brands that they haven't seen before?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of good reasons. One is what you're touching on, which is, we've got unbelievable vendor partnerships. Some of these are some of the largest manufacturers in the major categories in which we play. But, we also have a responsibility to inspire and excite our customers with products and ideas that may be new and emerging and serve different types of complementary use cases. And sometimes you need different voices, different creators to bring those to the table, but they don't always know how to get to the table or how to actually knock on a door as big as ours. So that was the genesis of Making It with Lowe's, and really trying to over-index on underrepresented communities, minorities, women, even veterans. So people that have historically had a harder time, as I said, getting to a big retail door like Lowe's. So then when America's Big Deal presented itself with really that same essence at its heart, felt really meaningful to us. And, this 2021 is our 100th birthday, which was astonishing, right? Lowe's is 100 years old. And I think it's also part of that moment of reflection that we started as an entrepreneurial company 100 years ago in a little town in North Carolina. And now we have an opportunity to pay it forward to a new generation. And big companies sometimes get stigmatized, but they started small and they became successful. So it's what you do with that power and that scale and how you use it in powerful ways to give back to the community, to help new creators find their footing, I think is a particularly exciting way to channel that success.
Besides these new shows and the focus on these new small businesses, does Lowe's have any other new ways of shopping this holiday season? I'm wondering if you're doing anything differently on your social channels.
Well, I think rather than answer it specifically through the lens of our social channels, what I'd say we've really done as part of the overall transformation that began once our CEO, Marvin Ellison, took over and brought in our whole new management team, including me, starting 3 years ago, is really ramp up our capabilities, including our omni-channel capabilities. And needless to say, that all got a very different dose of necessity when COVID-19 hit. And we rolled out things in lightning speed that we're really proud of. For example, our pickup lockers are completely touchless. That's really an innovation that has a whole other safety benefit now that we all appreciate. And they're fully in our entire system of stores across the country. So when you think about what it means to address how the consumer wants to shop and how they want to fulfill, that's one of our really big advantages, is that you can have a high touch, high service experience with our really knowledgeable associates in the store. You can shop online and have things delivered, or increasingly BOPIS, right? We know at the buy online, pick up in store, we rolled out curbside, the lockers. So I think it's more just thinking about this true integrated omni-channel experience and allowing the customer increasingly be at the center and decide how he or she wants to access what we sell. That's exciting and our progressive way that we're moving.
Well, one of the biggest stories in retail this holiday season is the supply chain crisis. And so many retailers are navigating a very tricky landscape this year with product delays.
I mean, isn't it funny that people actually talk about supply chain? That was just not dinner party conversation, or I should say dinner table conversation. And yet, people are have a general awareness of supply chain now, which is crazy.
Exactly. It's become very much a part of mainstream conversation right now. I'm wondering if Lowe's is experiencing any of this and kind of how that might affect your job as a marketer.
Well, first of all, I give our leadership team incredible compliment for our preparation. So having learned throughout these preceding 18 months, we got really prepared. And so credit to my partners, head of merchandising, of course, our head of supply chain, head of stores, really working collaboratively, technology, of course, being the underpinnings to get ahead. And so we anticipated, and then you put the consumer lens in it, that we wanted to be prepared early. And sure enough, that's what we're seeing. So we got product to our stores early. And so we feel pretty well prepared. And sure enough, even though I sometimes joke oh, why am I seeing Christmas already in the stores? And we hadn't even hit Halloween yet. But that's what the customer wants, and the customer's shopping it early. So from a planning standpoint, I think our company prepared really well. And then to your question about marketing, now we just have to see how it goes and what sells out, and we're prepared to be agile.
Speaking of consumer behavior and changing shopping patterns, you guys saw sales rise during the pandemic as so many consumers invested in their homes. I'm wondering if you're seeing this trend continue, or if some of that behavior is changing as people return to spending on things like travel.
Look, I think that's, of course, been a preoccupying question for us, because everything has been not rooted in patterns of behavior that feel predictable and historic because of the nature of what we experienced starting 18 months ago and really are continuing to experience. So you have to use your best judgment and your best planning, your best ability to scenario plan. And that was absolutely a question, is as behaviors start to return to some sense of pre-COVID normalcy, what will that mean in terms of customers' engagement with a home? And I can tell you, engagements continue to be really high. And what I'm hopeful for is that we've habituated some really important new behaviors in terms of a real different material appreciation for what our homes can offer us, how we want to tend to them, how they can be adaptive and serve different purposes. And so absolutely, just as individuals, we all want to be able to enjoy being out in the world and travel. I don't think we're seeing that that's mutually exclusive to continuing to really invest in and commit to the home. And the other dynamic we're seeing is it doesn't all have to be do it yourself. So we have a whole other side of our business that services the pro customer. And we're really encouraged and excited to see pros getting back to work and our ability to continue to support the pro side, which in turn supports customers by having professionals do those things for them. Those two parts of our business are really important, and we're continuing to drive really strong success on both sides.
Up next, we are going to reveal Lowe's holiday spot. But first, we have a message from our sponsor, Salesforce.
Marketing trends can change suddenly. Your marketing strategy should change with it. Let your data lead. Visit the page to learn more.
I'm Adrienne Pasquarelli here with Marisa Thalberg from Lowe's. As a reminder, if you have questions, please leave them on our social channels. We'll try to get to them during the conversation. So now that we know what else is happening at Lowe's, I think it might be a good time to take a look at the retailer's holiday spot. So this ad feels a little more story-driven, a little more emotional than what we've seen from Lowe's before. What was your strategy here?
Well, first of all, I hope you see it as a progression in the work that that you've seen from Lowe's over the past, year or two now. And I want to be clear that this is the first of our holiday spots, but certainly not our holiday campaign. And when we think of the holiday season, of course, it stretches over many weeks, all the way through to, near the end of December. And so we have both, I think, the benefit and the responsibility of having different types of messages that are designed to accomplish different things. And all of it should work together and ladders to this idea that we've created about making more holiday. And that was conceived in partnership with our creative agency, Deutsch LA. I think has done a terrific job with all of this work this year. This spot, we really did want to make it feel like a bit of our holiday card to our customers. We did. And, home isn't all about functionality. There's so much emotion in the idea of home and what home represents. And certainly when we reflect on last year and the fact that while we, as I said earlier, communed more deeply with the importance of home, we also, lost maybe on some of those shared moments with family and friends. And this year we believe that that's going to happen more so. And so just the idea of make more holiday, I mean, it's a soft double entendre on the idea of make and concert with our DIY culture, but it really is just like, we're prepared to help you make more of it, where we have, more tools, more decor, more gifts. And even just the experience of shopping a Lowe's store as it gets closer to the holiday becomes, and you'll see this reflected a little later in our work, it becomes destinational. If you're shopping our tree light or, walking the aisles of our holiday decor, it's fun and it's festive, and people actually really enjoy that. So we wanted to play into all of those parts, as well as, of course, the deals and great values that we know customers crave this time of year, and we're right there in with them. So what I hope the takeaway is, we are multidimensional, and there's multidimensional storytelling, but I think it felt really right and appropriate for us to send a little holiday love letter to our customers about the idea of togetherness. And that's what this spot is all about, is the desire to be together can even extend to our inanimate friends.
So
and we sell those inflatables, by the way. So.
Yes, my kids always want them all. They want the whole herd. Tell me a little bit about more on your strategy for the holidays this year. Where are you spending the bulk of your marketing budget? And is that different from in previous years?
I wouldn't describe it as materially different in terms of how we're investing. I mean, holiday is a very important season for us. Spring is really like our biggest prime time, but then, the traditional holiday season is right up there. And so I think, we have the same business goals as we always have, and that's reflected in terms of the diversification of our media across broadcast, but broadcast being more than, of course, just television, and all the way through to, and down all the way to like robust paid search, to make sure we're really capturing that bottom of the funnel and getting people to Lowes.com, as well as how that impacts store visits and everything really in between. Audio is important to us, digital, social. So it's a pretty robust mix. And as I said, the part that I'm proud of is also being able to think about different types of messages across these weeks and the different goals that we have and what we want to accomplish. And then I'll be a little coy and say, there are some more experiential moments to come too that I think also speak to the heart of the brand, and also the way we want to continue to surprise and delight our customers.
I was going to ask you about any in-store activations or experiential, because I know that's been a big area of focus for Lowe's around Halloween, for example, as well.
Yeah. So you're going to have to, talk to me again for that part.
Well, we are almost out of time, but as we look ahead, I want to ask you what you expect to be Lowe's area of focus as we get into 2022. Can you even think that far ahead?
Oh, gosh. Well, interestingly for us, as I just alluded to this, spring and home improvement is such a key selling season. So even though we're fully focused on delivering and executing a great holiday season, we've already got our eyes set on how do we, do another great spring effort. And if you think about it, I mean, we're just heading into winter now, but then when people reemerge and are ready to replant and re-energize, literally and figuratively, it's a really important time for us. So of course, we're already thinking about how to have a great spring 2022. We're going to continue to commit in big ways to our pro customer, as well as our DIY customer. So expect to see more from us in that regard. And then I just, I think we've got a lot to share in terms of great value messages, continuing to inspire people with how stylish our decor offerings are, and a lot more innovation as well. So much more to come in the year ahead.
And of course, Lowe's also has a new retail media network, the new platform for advertisers. So that must be, I'm sure, something you'll be ramping up in the coming year.
Yeah, obviously that's for us industry folks, a bigger headline than a consumer headline, but for sure as an industry headline, we think it's a significant one. And, we recognize we are not the first to market with that, but it's okay. We have the scale, we have the audience, and we have the focus in terms of what we're best at, that we knew it was our turn, and we're ready now to capture on all this increased demand for home and insights around a home lifestyle customer. So we're the door is open, the shingle is out, and already the initial demand looks very positive.
Excellent. Well, I wish you the best of luck with that and with the holiday season. Marisa, thank you so much for joining us.
It feels early to say happy holidays, but in the spirit of the conversation, it's never too early to say to wish someone well, right? So there you go. Happy holidays, Adrienne.
Happy holidays. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you again to our sponsor, Salesforce. And as always, thank you to our Ad Age live stream dream team, Arabella Breck, Alfred Mascaroni, Anna Sakula, and Lauren Chiriado. Check back with Remotely in the coming weeks as we continue to feature marketing leaders talking about their holiday plans. And don't forget to register for our CMO conference next month. Go to adage.com for updates. Thanks for tuning in.